On today's show, Jason Kidd is going to push this Mavericks team to play faster, make Cooper Flagg uncomfortable. There's no starting lineup yet. Let's talk about everything we learned from Mavs Media Day on today's Locked On Mavs.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
Zone 5. Explain this inside.
All these changes, I still got my dog Dwight Powell.
Dallas Mavericks podcast. Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I want to get a city like back.
And welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for 10 years. Thanks for reading every day or making Locked On Mavs your first listen in the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network out there. Joining me, as always, my co-host, media member covering the Mavs for 10 years, right alongside me, the We Back boy, the Dwight Powell remains.
We back, baby!
Recheck the One More Thing King. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
We're back. We're so back. Guys, if you do the little 30-second skip when you start a podcast and you missed the intro, we have a brand new intro.
Let's go.
By Cooper Flagg. Shout out to Cooper on Media Day today, giving us a new intro for Locked On Mavs.
One take.
Saying that one take wonder. Cooper, the pro. We had the bingo card out and active today, getting some squares marked off. We did have a few. We had some that were really close to, so it was a fun day seeing everybody. Everybody's back in action, baby.
We were at Media Day. We got to talk to a few people. We have those interviews on YouTube, and they'll be on the podcast feed as well, so you can go watch those, listen to those. Today's episode, we're going to get into all the things that was said in the main presser room. We'll talk about Anthony Davis. We'll talk about Kyrie Irving, talk about Cooper Flagg. Everybody was mentioned multiple times. Kyrie Irving and his injury status was mentioned. Anthony Davis and his new accessories were mentioned, and how he's feeling about this season. We're going to hear from Jason Kidd, because I thought he had some really interesting things to say about Cooper Flagg, and so we'll hear from that. But you did mention our bingo card. We got a couple of checked off the board here.
Yeah,
the free space, super easy. Jason Kidd will wear a flat bill hat. He wore one with Jason Kidd's select team on it, and so he had a flat bill hat. He also said, "I'm not a doctor." We'll play that clip a little bit later.
Yeah, that was so early, and we started getting
funny.
Shout out to Jessica sending us that text, and we were both like, "God, yeah, mark the square off, baby."
Yeah. We got Clay has asked about Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, shout out Kevin.
We got that one checked off by our friend Kevin Cray. We're a championship roster. We got that one. I checked that one off.
I know in the 2020 Lakers one, he talked about a bunch of those guys coming over, but he didn't say because once again, how Media Day set up, we were in a separate room to where some guys came through for some interviews and different stuff, so we weren't in the main presser room during some of that, and so yeah, we had to see that after the fact, and it's always a fun day.
But we made this right before Media Day, and we thought it was fun. We went back. So you can go back and listen to that episode. It's one of the more fun episodes we've done. We did get, we slightly said we did get an unexpected cast/sling because of Anthony Davis's eye. He has to wear goggles now.
I don't know if that counts.
It's unexpected.
I don't know.
So that one I circled. I didn't put an X through. I did a circle.
Lively was asked about his 3-point shot. So we can mark that one off.
True. Yeah, we marked that one off. And so there's some other ones. But the other one that I circled that I was like, all right, we kind of got this one, but not really, was that Kyrie was ahead of schedule. This was the thing I think that came out of Media Day, is that the Mavs really don't want you to say that Kyrie Irving is ahead of schedule. Let's hear from Jason Kidd on this.
Now, I don't do well with the medical, and I'm not a doctor, so.
That was not me playing the drop. That was what Jason Kidd had. Wait, here's the drop.
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know.
This is Jason Kidd today.
Medical, and I'm not a doctor, so when we do see Kai shooting, can we just refrain from saying ahead of schedule? That's bad reporting. I'm just giving you the answer to the test. He is doing quite well, as we can see, but he's not ahead of schedule. And so let's not say that. That's unfair to him and to the Mavs, because it's not true. And now
he's on schedule. He went on to say he's on schedule. They were very clear about that. Kyrie also got up as soon as he got up to the presser. He goes, "Let's talk about the Jason Kidd news. I'm on schedule. I'm doing okay." Like it's not like he had any setbacks or anything like that. But what did you take from that? Was it just a coach protecting a player from the pressure of like people saying he's ahead of schedule and coming back early and the fans' pressure of coming back early? Or was it just like, hey, let's be accurate on this?
I think it's purely let's eliminate any type of expectation for a timeline. We got a little bit of that with Kyrie Irving when later on in his availability where he talked about it. He mentioned, he was like, one of the advices, given to him was like, hey, don't throw out a date. Like, don't throw out a thing, because once you throw out the date, then everybody's counting down to it. Then it's like, well, if you go past it, and he even said, he's like, then I'm having to be in here answering questions from you guys, and y'all are saying that there's a setback and there's a pushback and all this stuff. When really, he's like, every timeline, every recovery is different, and you can't compare it to other players and all this stuff. So I would put money down that there's probably an internal goal or date or some type of range in that, but they're not going to share it. And honestly, I wouldn't either. I think that's the right move to do. And so, yeah, I think it's more of, hey, we want to temper down, like, don't be running all the time with this ahead of schedule thing. And then we're, second week of December, Christmas, and everybody's like, where's Kyrie? Y'all said he was ahead of schedule. He was going to come back. I saw him getting shots up in a gym. So why is
which we did do last year, right? Wasn't it like Caleb Martin was supposed to come back at a certain time? Like all these players were supposed to come back at certain times, and they kept extending the timelines on all of them, and it made us frustrated. And so I get them doing this, and it goes back to what Kyrie said on his Twitch stream that like went viral. Is like, hey, like I'm not holding my breath on coming back this season, right? Like let's see what it is. Let's go through it. He mentioned this is his 4th like knee surgery. He's been through it, and it seems like he's doing fine. He's walking around fine today and all that, but
yeah, great spirits. Like, one of the things I found really, I mean, he's always a great quote, great media person when it comes to interviews and stuff, but he talked about just the weight that he carried post like trade, of just like carrying, feeling like he had to, and I just in this, like, he felt, he even said, he's like, I was playing, like he said, I feel like I was one of the top 15 players in the world, and how he's playing, and he was playing really good. And I get the top 15 because we were like, he's an all NBA player. He should be an all NBA guy until, his injury and stuff knocked him out. And, but just him like talking about that, the mental aspect of carrying the weight. I mean, we were saying on this podcast, like, he handled any of the PR messaging and answers and talking about the fan connection. He connected with the fans post trade better than anybody in the front office did. And just that weight as a player and the leader, and then also at the level that he was playing at too, it was a lot. And it was a lot for him. And he didn't exactly, go back and listen to that on the Mavs YouTube channel, and you can hear how he words some of the just the weight that he carried some last year. And I think that goes into some of this rehab recovery too, of putting that weight expectation on an exact date. Like if he came out today and said, hey, February 16th is my, it's just smart not to do that.
And I think it's because he takes this seriously. Like Kyrie, we talked about this yesterday, where I was like, one of the things that's been crazy about covering the Mavs the last couple of years, many things aside, was that Kyrie has a completely different light on him. That he's been portrayed as this, maybe locker room cancer, all that. Has been completely opposite of that here in Dallas. And has also been pointed out as a guy like, well, he may leave basketball at any point. Like he may just decide to go do something else at any point. How many times have you heard somebody say that about Kyrie? And he talked about today, he was asked by Dorothy, asked him a good question about his basketball mortality and like the end of his career, because he's in his 15th year now in the NBA, which is wild. He has the most years on the Mavericks. And he really has thought about it a lot. And he talked about it and said that he wants to play. He really cares about NBA history, wants to play 18, 19, 20 years. And cares about all that, is excited to be the guy with the most NBA experience on the team at this point. And that is a Kyrie Irving that I don't think was portrayed before he came to Dallas, that we're seeing how much he cares about that. And he cares so much about it, which is why you don't want to put the pressure on him to like, all right, you got to come back now to take care of this thing that you care about. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like that it all works together. The reason why he's so good as a leader is because he cares, but he cares too much. Then all of a sudden you push him too much, and all of a sudden he's, doing something and coming back too early and all that. And none of us want that.
Yeah, I loved all of his recovery rehab answers today, just to give us a small glimpse into not just the physical side, but the mental side too of his recovery.
So that was where Jason Kidd actually tried to put less pressure on a player, but he wants to put pressure on every other player basically, because there's no starting lineup. There's a competition everywhere basically in camp, and he wants to push Cooper Flagg too. We'll hear from Jason Kidd and talk about more Media Day coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds, things that you can use to get in on the action. Go check out FanDuel and see what they got. I don't think that you can bet on a tie. I don't think that's something you can do. I was watching that game, and 40-40 is absolutely insane for the Cowboys to end that. But you can put all kinds of money down somewhere else if you find something that you're really confident in. Right now, FanDuel is giving you a deal. If you put down $5 and it hits, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app if you're a new customer. So go check that out and see what is available. Let's see if they changed any of the awards or anything like that. Still SGA, Jokic, Giannis, Luka for MVP. Victor Wembanyama plus 1,200, tied with Giannis. That one is interesting on there. But all kinds of stuff on there. Go to FanDuel.com. Take advantage of it. Download the app. Go to FanDuel.com to get started today. FanDuel, please gamble responsibly.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, listening every day. We appreciate you for checking out the show and listening. Go check out our full interviews. We'll put them on the audio feed. They'll also be on YouTube, so you can go watch our interviews. We got Dennis Smith Jr., our guy.
Oh,
Back. We got Najee Marshall, Daniel Gafford, D'Angelo Russell. So go check out some of those. It was a good time.
I want to shout out all the Mavs employees and the other media people we talked to. Some we met today that are loyal Raccoon Squad members.
True, yeah.
That listen to the show every day. So shout out to you guys. Thanks for the support and thanks for letting us know that today.
For sure.
We had a lot of good conversations today.
We did have some good conversations today. I was thinking about our bingo sheet, and I was thinking about one of the squares I wanted to make was that Nico Harrison wouldn't talk, and you guys talked me out of it. Cause like he's gonna talk, and he didn't talk today.
Yeah, on record. Yeah,
that's true. He stopped by the room though.
He did stop by the room. I'll say this because we, sent a thing out to our subtext today, and a lot was made about my question to Nico back after the trade. I don't even know when it was at this point.
What was that? How did that question go?
Why shouldn't you be fired?
Well,
and we had a follow-up conversation to that today, and it's off the record, so we're not going to share all the details of it. But all we'll say is, we both disagree on the trade.
Of course.
We both disagreed on that question, and we both let each other know about it today in a very respectful way. And
That's all true.
I thought it was a cordial agree to disagree. We'll both stand our ground and smile and tell each other kind of how we feel about it. But yeah, that was unexpected today. He stopped by our station and stuff. So yeah, but I respected the conversation, and I respected that we could both stand our ground pretty openly to each other. So
you can say a lot of things about Nico Harrison.
Explain yourself. Sorry.
But he is standing his ground on this. He is doubling, tripling down and saying it was the right thing and all that. And
he stands on business when it comes to his decisions, and
that is correct.
Yeah.
People forget about Frank.
I just wanted to play that one.
We did try to get him on the show though. So Nico, anytime you want to get on the show, even after that conversation, I was like, hey, you can hop on the show anytime, and he laughed and stuff. But he, obviously
Didn't
definitely knows.
No.
He definitely knows about our show and stuff. So we were talking about that, and but yeah, open invite anytime for Nico to hop on the show.
Jason Kidd also has an open invite, I guess. Jason Kidd wants to come on the show. He had an interesting answer about making Cooper Flagg uncomfortable. This was something that I liked that he was talking about in Cooper Flagg's introductory press conference, and when they were going to go to Summer League. I just like that how he's approaching Cooper Flagg and not taking kid gloves to him, basically. And like, all right, we're going to make you uncomfortable. This is the team right now. Jason Kidd was clear. Like, there's only one timeline. We're not asking Flagg to carry the weight of the Mavericks, is literally a quote that he said. but they're going to make him uncomfortable. And I just really like this. And let's just hear from Jason Kidd about how they want to handle Cooper Flagg early in his career.
I thought he did an incredible job with being uncomfortable. And we told the world that he was going to handle the ball. And yes, he was tired. And yes, he had a turnover. And yes, he made some great plays. And I thought he handled the situation as well as the 18-year-old can handle it. He has a talent to about winning. He is in his DNA. And so it would be unfair not to make him uncomfortable. And so I think he handled that this summer extremely well, of knowing that he was going to be pressed. But he gives us something that if he is pressed and he can beat it, it makes the offense so much easier for everybody else.
I think there's so much in that. I just want to stop and just pause and go through this. This is what a coach does, right? This is what you want a coach to do. It seems so simple, but like you don't want a coach to just get a player and go, all right, we're only going to put him in opportunities that show his game the best, right? I want a coach that actually goes in and says, this is what's actually going to be best for our team going forward, and him, the player going forward, to put the ball in his hands, to make him uncomfortable, to go out there, push him, and to make him do some things that he wouldn't necessarily do if we were just trying to put him in the best position to make, optimal Cooper Flagg year one best for the Mavericks, right? And I like that part, because he's right that if Cooper Flagg does max out, even just in his rookie year, what he's capable of offensively, it makes it so much better for the team overall.
Yeah, I'm with it, and I get the premise of it. I don't know really how to word it, because I don't disagree with it. I agree to an extent, just because we are a win now team. Like the Mavs are a win now team. Like they want to go for it this year. To where if you were, the Wizards or whoever it is, the Nets, you can go into it and be like, all right, we want to play the long term with this. And it doesn't matter if it costs us wins or if we win or lose. But this is the long term of hey, we want to make him uncomfortable, because in making someone uncomfortable, that means you're kind of saying out loud, we're okay with the mistakes and all the stuff.
Jason Kidd is okay with that. What have we learned from Jason Kidd his whole tenure? It's he's okay with that, whether it's a rookie, whether it's a vet, whether it's anybody. He is okay with losses in the regular season if it means longer term success.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying I love because even Kidd expands on it. He's so good and he's such a good prospect that it's almost like a disservice not to challenge him more and to make him uncomfortable and make him grow more. And I love that. I love that part of it. Also, at the same time, I want to maximize his strengths and stuff too. I want to see him I don't want to see half a season of him just force feeding him to play point guard behind D'Lo or something, or with D'Lo, and we don't get to see him play off the ball that much. And it's it's a weird thing. I think picking the spots for it is one thing, but so we'll have to see. I have a hard time believing, and I've said this a lot, I have a hard time believing that they're going to force him to be so uncomfortable, and he's so out of joints because he is so uncomfortable or whatever, that I just don't think they're going to do that to that extreme.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so either. I think that they'll definitely pick his spots. They're not going to he's not going to be the full-time point guard, have the ball in his hands all the time, play a 40% usage guard, right? I think they'll play him off the ball, obviously. Because another thing that he mentioned, actually, let's continue on the clip.
Because he's a willing passer and his IQ is extremely high, and so we'll continue to look at that. Him having the ball. The more playmakers that we have on the floor, the game becomes beautiful. It becomes easier. There's a lot of guys that can handle the ball. We talk about it with PJ, AD. So we're going to look at him being able to handle the ball. Point guard, you can call it that. But when you look at today's game, how many positions are there? And so I think that's the thing is, he can play every position. I tend not to label our players as point guards or centers. Now, D-Live, yeah.
That was when he should have said that they were basketball players.
I was waiting for it. I know.
We would have got that bingo sheet on them.
Yes, he's a center. But I think it would be unfair not to challenge Cooper Again, he's 18. He's going to make mistakes, but also he's going to put us in a position to win. And so, to answer your question about point guard, he can bring the ball, up off of a make. It becomes a flow, offensively. And so I think it just makes the game easier when you can have multiple guys that can dribble and who can pass. And so that's just something that we just haven't had. We've always relied on two people maybe to bring the ball, but now AD, at the 4 or 5, can bring the ball if you want to talk about positions. And so, just understanding that Cooper has a dynamic, a skill set that can help this team.
I think that's the part when it comes to bringing the ball up the floor that a lot of us will have to adjust to watching this new style of Mavs, that they're going to play faster, that it's just inevitable that Luka is a maestro. He's a wizard, magician with the ball, and he's gonna slow it down. A lot of like LeBron used to do or still does, whatever. And it's like, I'm gonna pick you apart like a quarterback. And to hear multiple players today, I mean, we got it a few times too, of like, just to have these guys of like, it comes off the rim, whoever gets it outside of like Gafford and Lively, it's just going to like take off with it. AD, take off. Cooper, take off. PJ, take off. As soon as you get the ball, I think even after makes, we're going to see fast inbounds and them just getting up and running and not the slow down, let me try to dissect you type of thing. That's going to be a change in offense for Dallas this year, I think.
It has to be, because they have to find a different way to score. And so I think that I agree with what Jason Kidd is saying there. I like that he's pushing Cooper Flagg. I like that he said it would be a disservice to him to not try and put him in spots. And not all the time. They're not going to force feed him. Like he said, you could say point guard, whatever, but we're really just going to put him in positions where he's going to have to do things that he's, that are uncomfortable for him. They're going to help him grow and stretch him, in the sense, because he can do everything on a court, right? But they want him to grow in all those skills. And that's kind of a hard thing to do. But I like the approach to Cooper Flagg coming from Jason Kidd. Coming up, let's just go through every other thing that we heard from Media Day. There's so many other things from Kyrie.
I got my favorite Cooper Flagg takeaway.
We got some good takeaways. We'll talk about that coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Monarch Money. Monarch Money's there when you have all kinds of different things. If you can't name every financial account you have, you got to figure that out and then put them all in Monarch Money, and then you can see them all in front of you. Got the data flow charts that'll show you exactly where your money is coming from and then where it's all going, to see all the different categories and to see category and like be embarrassed by that category and how big a category is. It's one of the things that makes Monarch Money worth it to me, because I have a busy life. I have a lot of different, I have credit cards, I have a savings account, I have student loans, I have a mortgage, I have 401k. You have all kinds of different things. You're trying to figure out where all it's going, where it's coming from, all that. And if you're putting off organizing your finances, don't. Monarch Money does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes. I did it. You can go check it out. Don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Figure out what's going on with your finances today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for your first year off. You get 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code LOCKEDONNBA. Again, the code is LOCKEDONNBA, all one word, LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
I just want to play this real quick again.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
Dog, on 5. Explain yourself, Isaac.
All these changes, I still got my dog Dwight Powell.
That's awesome.
That Dennis clip, we'll play it later in the week. We put the interview up, but we asked Dennis Smith Jr. about all the changes that happened, and he said, they got all these changes, but I still got my dog Dwight Powell. And that, to me, that was the quote of Media Day.
Yeah, it was great, man. I loved it.
Let's go back and forth. Give me your biggest takeaway about Flagg on Media Day.
His GOAT is MJ. Just wanted to.
I heard him say that. I immediately thought of you, and I was like,
he knows.
Cooper Flagg is now valid in Isaac's eyes.
He knows ball, and he knows it. And he was asked about the Ryder Cup and meeting MJ and stuff. He's like, Michael Jordan, that's my GOAT. He's the GOAT. And I was like, oh God.
He literally said he's the GOAT to me, and I was like, there it is.
Let's go. He knows ball, baby. It's not even a conversation. Anyway, your turn.
When did Jordan definitely retired before he was born, right?
What does that matter? Doesn't matter.
I'm just it's just a time thing that it's just like, wow, it's crazy.
I don't know.
Jason Kidd mentioned about the training camp in Vancouver. He said it gives the coaches a chance to hang out with the players, which I thought was really, really funny.
Yeah.
Because they're away from everybody. They don't know. Nobody's been to Vancouver. They're only doing 1-a-day practices up there. And he also mentioned the continuity of the team, which I found interesting. When you put it like this, 13 of the 15 players are returning from last season. Like, that is just an insane continuity.
Wild, yeah.
The Mavericks just have not had in the tenure you and I have covered this team. They have not had that amount of continuity.
No. I think
one more thing, and every player is cleared for camp except for Kyrie, which is huge.
That's nice. Speaking of health, I think one of the biggest questions we wanted to answer going into media day was about Anthony Davis, and I think there was a lot of speculation. Some people out there were running with the, like, he was playing with it hurt and his eye and all this stuff. He made it very clear. He's like, I was not playing with it hurt. Like,
okay, but did he? Because he said it happened when Gafford hit him in the face.
I don't know when that happened. So
he played after that because he has a bandage. There's all these photos of him playing with the bandage over his eye.
But you saw different people though. It's like, dude, he's been playing with eye injury for a long time. Like, it's
right.
And he was like, he said it was when Gafford elbowed him in the eye. He goes for his, he said he does this like checkup, medical stuff in the off season every year, and they're like, hey, you really need surgery on this. So you can obviously still see it, the redness in his eye. He talks about the drops he puts in. He said his vision's fine, everything's going great. But he did say for the rest of his career, he's going to wear protective glasses. Yeah, and he said it's a doctor mandate. So he made the joke about you're going to see me in the Horace Grants and the Kareems.
You guys will see me in the Horace Grants, which I just found so fun.
He did go back and was like, hey, I'm joking about it, but he said you will see. He will have protective glasses moving forward.
Should we do one of our board bets? We should do them quick because one of our board bets should be: is it goggles or is it glasses?
It's gonna be glasses. Yeah, no one really does goggles anymore, so it'll be those glasses with a strap and stuff on the bag. So polarized.
Dereck Lively, also an injury thing that we were questioning about. Said he feels great, feels strong, feels good, been in the gym. He's cleared for camp, so I have no concerns about his injury now. That was a concern that I had, and me, you and Slightly were talking about that, but I feel good about it after hearing from him, hearing from Kidd that he's cleared and all that.
Did they add stuff to his bones and his feet? Because he said he grew.
Where's the surgery where you can extend your legs? Because maybe they did that.
You talked about this.
Yeah.
He says he's 7'2" or 7'3" now.
He said he hasn't been officially measured, but that Dereck Lively has grown. Does that change your opinion of Dereck Lively if he is 7'3" instead of 7'1"?
I don't know.
His hair makes him 7'6", so
it's awesome. Freaking love it. I thought his presence and answers and everything just seemed so mature and vet-ish, and I was like, all right, you literally just turned 21, 22, and
but Cooper Flagg calls him Unc. Did you hear Cooper Flagg say that? That was the one time we got to hear Cooper Flagg's personality.
Yeah,
was that when he said he called PJ Unc, which is hilarious. And he said he called Lively Unc, and he just likes to mess with every player and make them feel old. And I was like, okay, there's a little bit there. And then the other time we saw his personality, we were in the hallway for this. If you've seen the Mavs posted the social media clip of them trying to catch the rods that fall at different times, where you have to you stand in front of it, and then all of a sudden one of them falls and you catch another one. Well, Anthony Davis did it first, and Anthony Davis missed a couple, and then Cooper Flagg goes and he gets all 5 or all 6 or whatever. And you saw his competitive streak come out, and then Anthony Davis got mad because he's like, "Wait, I thought you could only use one hand." And then Cooper Flagg and him were going back and forth, and that was fun. And you saw just a little bit of Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, I mean, just a relationship with him and some of those guys, and I think every media day there's some type of hey, what's the overall conversation? What's some of the random takeaways that's not really big tidbits or big storylines that's going to be on the news. I think some of us were wondering just how's Cooper going to be with media. That's always a thing for a rookie coming in. And, he has been around American media since he was, early teenage years. And so you saw that a little bit today. You saw, when we've we obviously got to cover Luka's rookie season, him coming in, and he's coming over from Europe and stuff, and it's just a different type of a vibe of just like media and stuff. Cooper was, kind of robotic. He, you could tell like, dude, he is so like robot trained and polished on like, I'm going to answer stuff this way, bam, bam, bam. And because he's done this for so long, they're probably giving him some coaching and stuff too. And then, there's still change and stuff happening around the Mavs. And I think this is year 2 that one of the overarching conversations with everybody there, media, workers and everything, of just stuff that's still shifting in the Mavs world. It felt like we were having those conversations last year of like, oh man, look, this person, is going here, and this person's, leaving, or this person, and this change is happening. And then this was another year of like, oh dang, this is happening, or this person's gone.
There
and then
we go again.
So it's just things are still changing in the Mavs world, behind the scenes and stuff too. And that is just it's just the time in the Mavs and stuff right now. So it's one of the conversations we had over, or at least, I had over and over again today, was like, man, things are just, it's so different now compared to even when we first started covering the team. This was our 9th media day, our 10th, year covering the Mavs. And you go back 9 years ago, how different those media days back then, and just access and everything, and conversations and interviews, and just how everything is ran and who it was. It's a whole different world than what it is now.
I'm going to do this for Locked On NBA tonight, but I do this game counted up, or count up a bunch of things, and I was counting up how many changes the Mavericks have had since Dwight Powell was on the team. Dwight Powell was in the Rajon Rondo trade, right? Since then, owner, GM, coach change, entire assistant coach regime has changed twice, because kids assistants came in, and then now this whole new assistant coach has come in. Dirk retired. Luka got drafted and traded. The CEO has changed twice. PR has changed like 3 times now. On the team when Dwight Powell was there, Monte Ellis, Richard Jefferson, Amari Stoudemire, Charlie Villanueva, Chandler Parsons, Jameer Nelson, Jay Crowder. Like, all the changes that have happened.
Dang.
It's crazy, like, to think about how many different things have changed in the Mavericks. And I mean, that's like 11 years now with Dwight. So,
and I mean, that's just some of the main positions too. There's other positions.
Right. Yeah. Those are just like the heads of stuff.
Yeah. So it's wild, and I get it from a lot of Mavs fans. It's just like whoever puts on the jersey is on the, the hardwood there. But a lot of the non-player stuff helps shape what this organization is, and what they are in the city, how things are operated, how things run, and just all the different stuff. And it's just, it's just different. And there's different chapters and stuff for sports franchises. And in the words of Dereck Lively, when he was asked about all the stuff from last year, he's like, we're flipping the page. And the Mavs are trying to flip a page right now and start a new chapter. And they're at the same time, they're hoping a lot of Mavs fans pick the book back up and keep reading.
That's right. We'll be here reading it. Writing some
every
of it.
Day.
Doing
every single day, baby.
Check back on Locked On Mavs. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to get the interviews. They'll be on the audio feed as well. And so thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll have more all throughout the week. Mavs go to training camp. Mavs training camp tomorrow. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.
Oh, Canada.
Dwight Powell is from the...